Hello, today I'm here to talk about iOS Hammonds. Here we have three of the best Hammond emulations on iOS. One is of course the Hammond B3X, the other is the VB3M, and the other one is Galileo 2. Let's see how they compare to the what they call the new original Hammond's own XK5. And of course it would be meaningless also if we wouldn't include the Nord Stage 3, which is more or less the standard for stage use when you don't want to carry a real Hammond. Let's start with the Hammond B3X in comparison to the XK5. First I will play a little bit the XK5 in the typical comping registration. Let's open a little bit the drawbars. Now completely. Let's see how the Hammond B3X compares to this. I'm using here the Roland 800 Pro, which I find it's one of the best keys to play Hammond outside of a real Hammond, of course. Drawbars completely out. Now let's see how the VB3 compares to them also. Let's open all the drawbars. I'm using here already my settings for all these instruments. I'm usually digging into the instrument and just changing everything according to my style and according to my preferences. But I also try to match them more or less. Now we are going to the Galileo. Galileo, of course, in this case, and with such a tough competition, is one of the least realistic, of course. Still, it's a valid proposition. Not bad for such an inexpensive instrument which came much before all the others. Now let's see how it fares with all the drawbars out. Okay, you cannot compare the balance and the way all the instruments respond, all the other instruments respond dynamically to how you work with the drawbars. So you cannot compare. But still, it was quite effective when you just explored it with the overdrive and something on a rock band. It would be pretty effective. A very big effects section, so you can have a lot of different effects. And you can put them in each order you want. So it was really comprehensive, and that's here we're just using the gain from the preamp. So just to compare with the Nord, let's put it okay. Again, the same settings. All the drawbars. It's pretty effective, of course. There's a reason why everybody wants to use it on stage. Is it more effective than the XK5? I don't know. I think I still like the XK5 more. Of course, one of the best instruments that I ever had. So I think yes, it's an amazing instrument, and I will in the end just show you how I think I could make it even better for my taste. Hammond B3X without any effect, so it goes directly through a line out. Yeah, everything is. Let's do the same here. it's very different, because if you analyze it, I would have to go now to a lot of settings just to put this completely dry, because you already have the valves, you already have the matching transformer here on the XK5. So let's simplify it. Let's consider this the dry sound from it. The Nord. So let's do the same with the VB3 dry also now. And let's do the same with Galileo now. Any small difference in volume really changed the perception of the sound. Let's adjust it while we go. Now, the Hammond B3X is nice, you already heard it, but what about if you put it through a different Leslie? GSI launched the VB3M when they should have launched the latest, the VB3. They launched their Leslie simulator, which is on VB3. So it's an updated version of that Leslie, and you can use it as an external effect. So here what I have is Hammond B3X with GSI Rotary. So this is the Leslie from GSI, and now let's compare it with the Leslie from Hammond itself. And let's do the same with the VB3 with its own Leslie against the VB3 with the new Leslie. Against this. I don't know. I almost even prefer the older Leslie. Of course, the settings are slightly different because as I'm going and I change everything, the settings change also, and it gets recorded on Camelo, so I cannot do anything about it. So let's continue and trying to make the best to make them similar. Now, Galileo got a new life, so because with the new Leslie, it changed completely its character. All of these organs are a complete reproduction of the Hammond organ. So they all have the different kinds of chords and vibratos. They all have the percussions. They all have those things, and most of those things are completely adjustable. It's no different for Galileo, and it has a lot of effects. So, for example, if I want to put effects in any order, here is the list of effects that I have at my disposal here. Galileo is very good if you just want to have something that works more like a synthesizer, when you don't need it to be completely realistic. Then Galileo is even more versatile than the others. But if you want realism, I guess there is no question that Hammond B3X should be the most realistic. Here we also have a very comprehensive effect section, although this part of the effect section is not very versatile, so it has a fixed order. The drive, drive pedal. You also have a spring reverb here. We have wah-wah, we have the chorus, we have all these things, and you still have in the end the post effects. It's nice to have it. Graphically it looks very good. The cabs, you can have it through the Leslie itself. You can have it also to a guitar amp. You have these two options for guitar amp, and then you have the mixer where you mix how much you want from those things. For me, usually I only use the Leslie. There's something that this can do that the others can't, which is this. Listen when I go slowly. This doesn't look like much or that important, because if you do this, there's some simulation here to velocity, but it's just kind of an attack envelope, which is preventing the key click to be heard. Here it's completely different. Here you have 3 contacts and you have 3 harmonics on each contact. So does it work? Does it simulate the 9 contacts from the original Hammond? Well, you know, in a sense, yes. Let's do, for example, something more funky. In this kind of things, you really notice this mess when you go just very soft. This makes a difference. Something is working well here, which is not the case. It's not the same. It's a little bit more realistic, everything on this XK5. No wonder it should be. Let's see also how this goes with this Hammond here. One thing I have to say about the Nord and the VB3 is that I like their overdrive much better than even on the Hammond. The Hammond you have much more. You have here some different choices, and when they work on higher levels like this, they sound good, but they are not very progressive. So in this case, you can go from no drive on the Nord to a little bit of drive, and they are never harsh. They are always progressing in a very nice way. If you do this with a Hammond, now I have here this overdrive, but it more or less they have different characters, but it more or less happens with all the other overdrives. Listen, they start clipping at a certain point. Yeah. So this really is much more progressive, and it's always nice. The same with the VB3. Same. In all of them, you have some control over the key click. In the Hammond, you have the control from the key clicks also. Key click on, key click off, which is good to have these two controls separately. And the color of it. You have the leakage for all of them also. So you have a lot of things going on which tries to simulate everything. The volume compensation for the percussion, which is also available here. I don't think we have it available for the VB3. No, VB3M. No, this we don't. This is already too advanced, and they didn't want to make us a very advanced thing for the VB3M. I think it was a poor decision from them because now they have tough competition. GSI, on the other hand, they are launching so many good things. Check what they are launching for iOS, because they launched also other kinds of organs, pianos, electric pianos, vibraphones, everything. So check what GSI is launching. You will be surprised. To finalize, I think that from the beginning, Hammond XK5 had a big problem. Hammond always considered that the Leslie effect simulation on a keyboard was not important, because any serious organ player would use a real Leslie. That's true in part, but what if you want just to travel light and get your very expensive instrument with you? I must say that this is the best Leslie simulator on an Hammond until now. Not the factory presets. I needed this drama that the ventilator can give you. The Nord can almost give you that drama, but not quite there. Yamaha now with the YC series, it's getting pretty close and pretty good also, but it was lacking. The Hammond was lacking. So I spent a few hours trying to find the best settings, and now I can have a sound that has drama. And this is something that it didn't have. That they were very cautious with this. They didn't want a Leslie that was kind of wow. No, because if you want a Leslie, you buy a Leslie, you use a Leslie. In this case, I just made it better, I think, at least for my taste. And if you like it, I will leave all the settings then on the description. I hope you enjoyed this overview of all these instruments. iOS is growing in quantity, it's growing in quality. So I'm glad I started this journey 10 years ago with just the Galileo, but now we start having a lot of good things for pianos. For since iOS was always good, since almost the beginning, that you would have really amazing stuff for iOS. For the other stuff, not enough and not good enough in most of the cases. Now we are getting there. Hammond B3X. VB3. Galileo. Hammond B3X with GSI. VB3 with the Rotary from GSI. Galileo with GSI. Not bad, the Galileo also with the GSI. Now the Hammond. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's not too long. I cannot play too much because there's so many instruments to show and so many details that were left to discuss. But I just wanted to make this the fastest comparison possible. And in fact, it was not a comparison itself. It's just to let people know what they already have for the iOS. Yes, we have great instruments. The XK5 is a great instrument. The Nord Stage 3 is a great instrument. The YC series from Yamaha, they are great instruments. But don't forget, you also have now great instruments for this platform, which is super portable. So that was the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Next time it will be, of course, electric pianos. Bye bye.